Dasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Shakshurmiritam Yena Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha Gorave Gorachandraya Radhikaye Tadaraye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. So we still are reading from Vedanta Sutra, Refutation of Buddhism. Now that Mahayana Buddhism, small vehicle, has been defeated, Vaibhashika and Sautrantrika schools, now the Vyasadeva is refuting the Vijnanavada and the Shunyavada, what is called Mahayana Buddhism. So first of all, Vijnanavada, we know the word, Jnana, Vijnana. Vijnana means consciousness, realization consciousness. And the Vijnanavada, sometimes also called Yogacara, like we have the Tibetan Book of the Dead. This is a Yogacara, Vijnanavada Yogacara treatise. And what it is, what do they believe in? They believe that the world is a projection of the mind. It has no reality. It is only my projection. And if I wake up, if I can be awakened, then this projection will be gone. So this is the belief. And Shankaracharya is very expert at defeating Vijnanavada, Shunyavada schools. And Sripad Madhvacharya is saying, yes, Shankaracharya is very expert at defeating the Buddhist schools because he's a Buddhist himself. He knows the philosophy. So anyway, nevertheless, Shankaracharya is saying our awareness of exterior object like a wall is not identical with the wall, of course, but it is an object perceived by consciousness as concrete as a wall. We cannot deny the existence of the wall, which is actually perceived. It is absurd to deny actually the existence of external object. We may deny driving a car that there is a wall, and then we think we can go through it because it is not there, just a projection of our mind. But we know without conscious being that if we go through the wall, we're going to crash. That's the idea. You may deny it, you may say it has no existence outside of my mind. Then you're going to be hurt, and you may kill yourself because that reality is there. So Vijnanavada is also called subjective idealism. You know, there's a famous painting of Greek philosophers. I compare sometimes Greek philosophy with Indian philosophy because there are some similarities. And there's a famous painting by the painter Raphael. And he's depicting, he's showing the sages of Athens. So you have all the different philosophers, and in the middle you have Plato and Aristotle. Plato was the first philosopher who actually narrated the arguments of Socrates, and Aristotle is his disciple. But one is pointing to the sky. This is Plato showing the sky, and the other one, Aristotle, pointing to the earth. What is the meaning of that painting? And right in the middle is a big, there's a big fresque, and they are right in the middle because from them come all the different variety of philosophy that came afterwards. And it means idealism, Plato's idealism, meaning that the world is not real. It is a projection of the real world. There's a real world, and this is like a copy, very much alike what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is describing, that everything here is like a dictionary of the spiritual world. So Plato say the world of ideals. There is real love, but not on this world. And we are craving for that real love, but we can never attain it. So this is, and then the belief in reincarnation and the soul that is trapped within the body. This is Plato philosophy. And this idealism has been going throughout the history of philosophy, like Immanuel Kant or Hegel are also called idealist. And Aristotle is pointing to the earth. He's a materialist. He's saying that everything actually is in this world. You call that also realism. Everything has to be, so, philosophy is always like Marx is a realist materialist, and David Hume is an empirist. He's saying that what we see, the outside perception, this is the reality, and the mind is just something else. But the reality is external. But philosophy is actually a combination of those two things. So subjective idealism, subjective means my own ideals. My own mind is making the world. I'm dreaming this world, I'm seeing this world, it doesn't really exist. I'm projecting you and them and so on and so forth. But then how can it be that everything is a projection of my own mind, since everybody else around me is seeing the same thing? And they will be projecting me and projecting others. So it doesn't make any sense. As a philosophy, as a logical philosophy, it doesn't make any sense, because everybody is actually perceiving the same thing. We all perceive the sun, the mountain, the earth, the water, the grass, the cow, and so on by sense perception. So this is one refutal of the Vijnanavada Yogacara school. Now, another sutra is saying, Vedarmyat Shana Swapna Diyat. Yeah, because I forgot to read the first sutra. It was Nabhava Upalabde. This is the Sutra 31. And it said, because external objects are perceived, therefore they are not non-existent. Bhava means existent. Abhava means non-existent. Naha, Bhava means not non-existence. They are real. In other words, because you can see the objects, that means they are real. So now, next sutra, this was Sutra 28 actually. Now Sutra 29, Vedarmyat Shana Swapna Diya. Swapna means sleep. And the translation of that sutra, the world is not like a dream because it is different from the dream. The Vijnanavada Yogacharya claimed that the world is like a dream, having no existence on its own. Yet everyone knows that there's a difference between the sleeping state and the waking state. There's a play written by Calderón de la Barca. He was a Spanish fellow. He wrote, Life is a Dream. The story is that there's a prediction to the king that your son that is just now born, he's going to be a cruel king. He's going to make everybody suffer. So the king believes what he hears, and he puts his son into a prison. And that person has been in prison all his life. And he comes to be a young man, and all he has known was to be in a prison. But the king dies, his father dies, and as soon as the king dies, all the thieves and burglars, they come out and they start plundering the kingdom. And then the ministers are saying, well, we need a king, but we don't have an heir. But there's one, but he's, they say he will be a bad king. But nevertheless, better bad king than no king, at least for the time being. So they go into the prison, and they give a special meal to that prisoner, who is a son of the king, and they put some kind of a sleeping portion in the meal so that he falls asleep, and then they take him up, they take him out of the prison, and they put him into the bedroom of the king. And the next day he wakes up and he's in this beautiful place, and he doesn't understand what's happening to me. But everybody comes and says, you are the king. They don't explain what happened. They say, you are the king. So he starts acting. He gets rid of all the bandits and all these bad people. He kills them. And he starts acting exactly as a prediction of being a very cruel king. As time goes by, he becomes like a tyrant. So the minister says, well, you see, he got rid of all those bad people, but now he becomes the cruel king that he was predicted to become. So what to do? So they say, well, we have to bring him back to jail. So again, they come with a big, nice place, because he had many ministers being executed and everything. So they say, well, next is going to be our head. So they put some kind of a sleeping portion into the food. He falls asleep, and they bring him back into the jail. And then the end of the play, He wakes up in the jail and he doesn't understand what's happening. He's saying, am I a prisoner who thinks I am a king? Or a king who thinks I'm a prisoner? He doesn't know what is real life. Maybe this is a nightmare. I'm going to wake up. But this is the play. Life is a dream. And there's also this Chinese saint in Taoism. You know, Tao, we know the yin and the yang. Tao means the way. And he was saying, last night, his name is Chuang Tzu. I don't pronounce it probably right. He's a Chinese, Chuang Tzu. He's saying, last night I dreamt I was a butterfly. And today I'm a man. So am I a man dreaming I'm a butterfly, or a butterfly dreaming I am a man? So maybe we can laugh about this, because if any man sane in his mind is dreaming of being a butterfly, and he thinks he's a butterfly, he's crazy, he's nuts, okay? We know this, that, I'm a butterfly dreaming I'm a man. Maybe this is good when you take drugs, hallucinogenic drugs, but in real life it has no sense. Just like when you dream that you're flying. When you wake up, you know you're not flying. Maybe you recall something from past lives, and that's another argument. Yes, there's nothing in your dream that is actually new. You are combining everything. Everything we see actually is in a real or wake up life, say. So there's this example Prabhupada also gives. You see gold, you see mountain, and the mind associated as a golden mountain. Both exist, but the golden mountain exists in your mind. Unicorn also. You see a horse, and you see some animals with some horn in the middle of their forehead, and you combine the two, it becomes a unicorn. So anyway, or Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse is just it's a mouse. And we see human beings. Combine the two, human beings speaking, standing on two legs, and acting as a man, but being a big mouse. So this is a combination of the two. So this is how we perceive in dreams. We are remembering what we've seen in wake-up life. Shankar is giving all these arguments. Not the Mickey Mouse, but he's giving all these arguments to make us understand how to defeat Vijnanavada Buddhism. But he contradicts himself, because when he was commenting his Parama Gurudev, he has a guru called Govinda, but his Parama Gurudev is actually Gaudapada. And Gaudapada, he wrote a short commentary on the Mandukya Upanishad called Mandukya Karika. And this is very famous, actually. When you buy in English translations, and even in Sanskrit, you find Mandukya Upanishad. Often it is accompanied with the Karika, or the commentary of Gaudapada. And some people think that the two are linked, but it is a commentary. And in his commentary, Gaudapada is saying that the world is a dream. It is you can see actually the link between Buddhism and Mayavad. Gaudapada, he's saying everything is Maya, illusion. It has no reality. And Shankaracharya has created this Mayavad school based on Gaudapada's Karika. And so this Mayavad comes from that. So how do we reconcile, how can we say, that Shankaracharya is defeating this Buddhism? And even more so, Prakashananda Sarasvati, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to see, he was influenced by this Buddhist school, the Lankavatara Sutra, for example, and also the Yoga Vashishta, and he actually made this theory called Drishti Srishti Vada. Drishti seeing, Srishti creation. Vada means the doctrine that the creation is only based on seeing, perception. So he had actually the same belief. Sripad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj, he mentioned a little bit about the Lankavatara Sutra and Gaudapada in his book Beyond Nirvana. This is the English translation of his book Vaishnav Ki Jai. Beyond Nirvana, he speaks about this. So this is in the line of Shankaracharya. There's also a Zen proverb saying, If a tree is falling into the forest, but nobody is there to witness it, is the tree really falling? Did they use this? Huh? They use this because if you don't witness it, then there's no proof that the tree has fallen. You need a witness. And so, but that doesn't mean that trees are not falling, even if we're not seeing it. The world, to Mayavad and to Vijnanavada Buddhism, has no reality. It is only in the mind. It is either a projection of the mind, or a phantasmagoria, or a dream. Such explanation doesn't hold good. It is not good. It is it's not logical. But there is some truth to the theory of illusion. On one hand, when you say life is a dream, it makes sense. Why? Because whatever I have known in the past, places I have lived in, people I have known, events, my past, my experience, all this has been erased. It doesn't exist anymore. It's all gone like a dream. Nothing remains of the past except some blurred memories and old pictures. So, on one hand, life is a dream. Yet on the other hand, this idea is the weirdest idea of all. It doesn't make any sense that you think that you're in a dream. So Srimad Bhagavatam reconciles everything because it often speaks about how life is a dream. For example, in the 11th canto, there's this verses, and actually it comes up many times. Swapno yata mana. Swapna means dream or sleeping state. Yata, just as, mana, the mind. Kyati samsritir, the samsara. So just as a dream is merely a creation of one's intelligence but has no actual substance, similarly, yata, material lamentation, illusion, happiness, distress, and the material body take place by avidya and is not based on reality. And then there's other verses following in the same spirit. Many verses actually comes in the Bhagavatam of this same nature. But we always have to look at the context. And yes, the liberated jiva, though living in the body, is not situated there. Just as person on waking from a dream is not situated in a dream body. The bound jiva, however, though not his body, identify with it like a person who identifies with his body in a dream. And there's many other verses like this. So we have to understand the context. Between those two verses I read, there's a reminder of what the soul is, and also the theory of two souls that we find in the Rig Veda and the Upanishad. It says Dva Suparna here, Suparna eto sadrisho sakayo, same. Two birds are situated on the same tree. So it is not impersonal. It cannot be impersonal. So what is the Bhagavatam saying? It is not the experience, it is not the world that is an illusion. It is your experience of it, your identification with the body. That is the Maya. And this is the main confusion I have already underlined in Buddhism. They don't know what the soul is. They confuse the soul with the mind. That's why they say it's a projection of the mind. So this is one flaw. This is Vijnanavada and Yogacara. And next time we'll see the theory of Shunyavad and how Shankaracharya also is flirting with this theory of Shunyavad. Thank you very much. Vanchakalpa tarubhyacha kripasindhu bhyayevacha patitadam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.